I love the fact that Bill O'Reilly's still willing to go on these shows and make a fool out of himself. Talk about Russiagate, just like reminiscing over his times at Fox News covering this garbage. But obviously James Carville just went over the basic facts, right? The basic facts of the situation, right? The Senate Bipartisan Intelligence Committee that confirmed the 2017 ICA as proper intelligence. He just said the basic stuff that I've said over and over again. But Bill O'Reilly's going to come in and fact check him. And it's just hilarious.
The report that Tulsi Gabbard declassified, all right, my notes, and I could be wrong here, was on September 18th, 2020. That's when it was released. There are a lot of reports. But I think that we're getting lost in the weeds here, okay? Because they're just...
All right, so he's trying to make some time just to clarify, the House partisan report that Tulsi Gabbard declassified was made in 2020. That was when the majority vote happened on it. It was just Republicans, no Democrats were involved in that. That's why it's called a partisan report. But the bipartisan Senate report was also signed off. The 5th volume of it was signed off in 2020 by Marco Rubio, and he could have revised any part of it with new intelligence. Nothing was set in stone. He signed off on the whole report, and the Senate did not go back and redo any of it based on new intelligence. So that this claim that he's going to try to make, I think, that the House report came out years after Marco Rubio's report is it's not true. The whole Senate Intelligence Committee signed off on the entire report as true. It wasn't just 2018. Not that it matters.
Too much coming at the audience. One report said that Putin tried to meddle. True. The other report said the director of the CIA knowingly used phony stuff, okay, to try to get...
Yeah, that's what the Republicans wrote.
And other things. Okay.
All right, now he's confusing the House partisan report that was released in December of 2020 with the Horowitz report, who's the Inspector General. The Horowitz report is correctly found that there were problems in the FISA application in the use of the Steele dossier. That is correct. That's probably the only valid point that this whole Rushgate stuff has, is the FISA warrant that was improperly crafted, but Horowitz could still find no kind of political motive or bad malicious intentions with how the FBI submitted that report. They just didn't clarify that the allegations made in the Steele dossier were unverified yet, and should be taken with a grain of salt. So he's not even getting the basic facts right. The House report did not allege John Brennan was trying to get warrants. It alleged that the intelligence used in the ICA to try and make the conclusion that Putin favored Trump was not tradecraft, and this is objectively incorrect. It was bipartisan, so no Democrats signed off on this. The Senate report said the exact opposite, and in general, you would be able to, if there was any validity to the House's claims, they would have had prosecutions already. Why? Because John Brennan has said under oath that he did not use the Steele dossier in making the ICA's claims of Putin's intentions. And if the House reported any evidence of that, they could get some perjury prosecutions going. But they have not. But just assume from the beginning that all of this is complete BS. Like, these are the same people who defend a literal insurrectionist. So, and this is a partisan report. They couldn't get any Democrats to sign off on this, whereas the Democrats could get them to sign off on the Senate report. So it's just everything's going against his points.
But Schiff signed off on it.
I don't know that.
This is the funny part, because Schiff did not sign off on it. If Schiff signed off on it, it would be called the bipartisan House report, and you'd see Tulsi Gabbard using the word bipartisan in all of her kind of like press events. Because that would be her strongest talking point. She'd be like, this is bipartisan. It completely disproves everything. It's like, no, it's completely partisan. It's just a Republican circle jerk where they can just pass anything they want. They could have passed a resolution saying the earth was flat because they're not getting any Democrat signing off on it. Like, yes, Adam Schiff was a chair of that committee, but it ended up being a partisan report because he would not sign off on it. He's missing the fact that this is partisan.
He signed off on it. It was written by the Republican majority. I doubt he signed off on it.
He had to. So he didn't.
I think they put out their
He
own
had to
version.
sign off on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did not put out the wrong version. They put out the partisan report. Everyone on this panel is confused except James Carville, I think.
But look, either way, Bill, I'm just saying this. You say too much is coming at the audience.
Version, you got a big scoop.
No.
Okay.
Other than MAGA, ultra MAGA, who cares about any of this? If you live in Indiana, if you live in Louisiana,
Yes.
you're worried about the tariffs. You're worried a little bit about what.
All right, so now he's going to go on to Epstein. So the whole point he made about Epstein is that this is just a cover-up for Epstein. And it's so funny to me because if you're going to make conspiracy, like, what's the stronger conspiracy? I think I'm anti-conspiracy on Russiagate and Epstein. The Republicans are anti-conspiracy on Epstein but not Russiagate, and the Democrats are anti-conspiracy on Russiagate but not Epstein. So it's like, and the conspiracy case for Epstein is so horrendously awful. It's assuming DOJ failures at the highest levels, like throughout, constantly. That the Biden DOJ ignored evidence that they could have they could have prosecuted on these big influential people they could have prosecuted with the Epstein files, but they couldn't. Either it's that or the blackmail sitting over the government is so tremendous that none of us can even serve to comment on it. If there's evidence enough to prosecute and then there's no prosecutions because of blackmail, then it's like, well, we have no idea what's happening. So, like, who are you to comment on it? But it's kind of crazy on both sides. And the guy in the middle, Cuomo, is just falling for the Epstein stuff, like, completely. And James Carville, I think he's more like me. He just doesn't care. I assume that the DOJ has done their job until proven otherwise. This is just my standard stance, but...